Hey guys, welcome back to this week's edition of New Makeup Sunday. So this week I did something a little bit different. I actually was super busy this week and I didn't have a chance to film like I normally do, where I film a little bit each day when things come in, but I didn't want to not do this video either. So I'm just going to kind of be doing this review style. And if you actually like this style better, let me know, because I can always switch it up and maybe do this type of video instead. I'm still going to be showing you guys swatches of everything, but I'm also going to be able to give you some of my first impressions now that I've actually tried everything. So really the only thing you're missing is the actual like unboxing itself. But again, if you do like this style better, let me know. If you like the old style better, let me know that as well. And if you guys are new here, welcome. I do these videos every single Sunday where I just talk about new makeup that I got in throughout the week, whether it was PR or things that I happen to purchase myself. So if you end up enjoying this video, I really hope you'll consider subscribing. So let's go ahead and jump in, and we'll start with the first thing I got, which actually was a Sephora haul earlier in the week on Monday. And I had gotten in a few things that I had ordered for holiday. The first one being the new Pat McGrath Celestial Odyssey palette. So this is her mega palette. It's $78, which is actually cheaper than her normal palettes. But from what I understand, I guess the packaging on these isn't quite as good. The $129 palettes, I think they're $129. The ones that have 10 shades, those have this really heavy, like black lacquered packaging. And this one just comes in like standard cardboard packaging, but it is really, really beautiful. And it still does have a lot of weight to it. It feels really heavy in your hand. And I just think it's absolutely gorgeous to look at. It is a bit on the larger side, but it's also slim. So it's not something that's going to be too big or chunky or difficult to store. Inside, you have 18 shades. You have a huge full-size mirror, and out of those 18 shades, only 4 of them are matte. So this one, just like last year's palette, is very, very shimmer heavy. So I just wanted to point that out in case you're somebody who really likes a lot of matte shadows. So let's go ahead and take a look at some swatches. And even though this doesn't have those special shades, the baked ones that make her other palettes a little bit more on the expensive side, these shadows are beautiful. Some of the shimmers have more of a subtle satin finish, and other ones are just incredibly foiled, metallic, and shiny, and they all swatch beautifully. They apply so beautifully to the eyes. The one thing I will say about application is that I had trouble with the mattes just being a little bit too pigmented, and that's why I normally have a little bit of a struggle with brands like Pat McGrath and Natasha Denona and more of the pro brands, because they are so pigmented. I think part of it is my blending skills. Another part of it is just that I have a lighter skin tone, and shadows just really pop on against my skin. So when I'm blending, I just have to be careful that they don't look too harsh. But I am wearing this palette on my eyes today, and I just feel like especially the shimmer shades are just really special and beautiful. So for today's look, I really only used 2 colors. I used this pink shade all over the lid and up into the crease, and then I just topped it with this kind of silvery color. And I just kind of went from the inner corner to maybe like about midway. And like I said, I think these just have so much impact on your eyes. So it's a really, really beautiful palette. But as always, I do want to show you guys a couple of alternatives and palettes that I have in my collection that sort of reminded me of this, just in case you were maybe thinking about buying it, but you're not sure if you have something similar. So first up, I wanted to compare it to the BH Cosmetics Smitten in Switzerland. I felt like these had kind of similar colors going on with the green and the blue, and then you also have some of those pinky mauvey colors as well. And when I look at them swatched, I do think there is quite a bit of similarity going on, and BH Cosmetics has a fantastic formula. It might not be exactly Pat McGrath, but I think it pretty much holds its own, especially for how much less expensive it is. I think it's a really good option if you have that one already. Another drugstore comparison that completely blew my mind was with the Flower Beauty Jungle Lights and Desert Lights palettes. So both of those together, I know a lot of you guys do have both of them. And I've always raved about the shimmer shades in those palettes being extra super special. And not only do these share quite a few shades in common, but also I feel like the Flower Beauty ones are even more vibrant and more metallic than the Pat McGrath, which is so crazy. So on the left-hand side of your screen, those four are from the Desert Lights palette versus the Pat McGrath. And then on the other side, you have 4 shades from the Jungle Lights palette compared to Pat McGrath. So while they don't have all the shades in common, for example, they don't have the blue shades that are in Pat McGrath and some of the mattes, I do think you're getting a lot of the same shimmer shades that you would want to use on your lid. And the Flower Beauty ones honestly cannot be beat for the price. They are so good. Another one that I wanted to compare it to is a more recent release, and that's the ColourPop It's a Mood palette. So this one, I just thought because it's so colorful, it's a huge palette, and it looked like it had a lot of similar shades in it. So when I look at the swatches, I think there's definitely some similarity going on. You have the same mix of colors from the greens to the blues to the rusty shades to the gold. I mean, there's really a lot of similarity going on. Again, it's not exact, but if you're looking for a more colorful holiday palette, I think the ColourPop one is fantastic, and it has a great mix of colors and definitely a lot more affordable. Next, we also have the Too Faced Pumpkin Spice palette. This one's no longer available, but I know a lot of you guys purchased it last year. And again, I just thought that it had similar shades going on, with the exception of those blue shades again. And really looking at the swatches, there is a lot of similarity between these two. I can't say that there were really that many spot-on dupe shades, but it has a really similar vibe going on. And then the last comparison I have is actually with the Natasha Denona Love palette. And this one, you might be wondering why, because the Love palette doesn't have greens and blues and golds and things like that. But I just noticed that so many of the Pat McGrath shades, especially when it comes to the rosy ones and the pink and the purple, that it had a lot of those. And I wanted to see how they compared to the Love palette because I was just getting a similar vibe from it. And like I suspected, there are about 7 shades in the Pat McGrath palette that are just about spot on in the Love palette. I thought they were super close. Even some of the duochrome shades, I felt like they had a really similar shift to them. I was kind of blown away by that. Even though it doesn't have as many shades in common as some of the other palettes that I showed, I feel like these are probably the closest in terms of just being really spot on color matches. So I thought that was kind of interesting as well. If you had your eye on the Pat McGrath palette for specifically those rosy shades and you already have the Love palette, then you could probably safely skip it as well. Next up at Sephora, I had also ordered another holiday palette, this time from NARS, and this is their Unwrapped mini eyeshadow palette in the shade Laguna. So when they say mini, they really were not kidding. This was $25, and look at how small this is. It is miniature. I was not expecting, like, I knew it was going to be small. I was picturing kind of like a deck of cards small. This is even smaller than that. It's crazy. Like, it'll literally fit in the palm of your hand. And when you open it up, the pans inside are just so teeny tiny that it's kind of difficult to get your finger into them. Not a brush so much, but I like to apply shimmer shades with my fingers, and it was just really difficult to get them in there. And I have pretty tiny fingers as well. My ring size for my engagement ring is like a size 4. So my fingers are really, really small. And yet I had trouble definitely getting into these pans. But that being said, the formula feels really nice. I thought these colors are beautiful, especially if you just want a really good like travel neutral palette. I think it's beautiful. So I think in that sense, it could be perfect if you like to keep makeup in your purse, or if you just travel a lot. This is really not going to take up much room at all. So I think it's good for that. It's just on an everyday basis. Would I reach for this? Probably not, because it is a little bit cumbersome trying to get into the pans. So I would say that's the biggest downside for this for me. Okay, so next up, let's chat about this Warrior Princess mascara from Flower Beauty. This is their white version, and I have to say, I saw this on their Instagram and I was a little bit confused. I thought it was a primer at first, and then I realized that no, it's just actually a white mascara. So when it got to my house, I was kind of like, I don't think I'm ever gonna wear this, but I decided to try it anyway, just because I wanted to see what it was all about. To be completely honest with you, I would never wear this in my daily life, but did you happen to notice how incredibly long that made my lashes look. So then I started thinking, you know what? Why don't I try this as a primer? Because I think it would make a fantastic primer, just given how much length it gave my lashes and like curl and everything. So today I am actually wearing this under my Essence Lash Princess, and I actually am really, really impressed. Like, look at how big my lashes look today. So I am definitely going to be using this as a lash primer. I guess it's not really its intention, but I would love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Would you wear this white mascara? Would you try it? Or would you use it like for a costume or something like that? I'd love to hear your thoughts. I also had gotten a box from CoverGirl with some of their classic sort of cult favorite products in it. And the one that stood out to me the most was this clean liquid foundation. So this is like the original that's been around forever and ever. I remember my mom wearing this back in the 80s, and then I wore it once I was allowed to wear makeup in the early 90s. And I was wondering if it still had that Noxzema smell. Yes, it does. It totally took me back to being a teenager again. And I was like, I wonder if I'll like this as much as I did back then. I honestly couldn't even remember what the finish was like or anything about it other than the smell. So I started using this again this week and was completely blown away by it. Like, where has this been hiding? Why is nobody talking about this foundation? I've tried so many high-end foundations, ones that cost $80, and they don't look this good on my skin. This is truly a skin-like finish that it's completely undetectable. It's so weightless. It just becomes one with your skin. It looks like absolutely nothing on. So let me show you guys a quick close-up of just what it looks like. This is up close and personal, and I mean, it doesn't look like I'm wearing foundation. It didn't cling to dry patches. My chin looked actually smoother than it normally does. My cheeks, my forehead, like in between my eyebrows where normally I have flakes and things like that. I mean, it just looked and laid so nicely on top of my skin. I was very impressed by it. And I also thought that the coverage was pretty good as well. I would say that it's a light to medium coverage. It builds up very easily, but it just has a very natural finish. It doesn't look matte. It doesn't look dewy. It dries down immediately. I didn't feel like I was sticky or tacky. So at least those of us with dry skin, you wouldn't even have to set this or anything. It honestly looked perfect. I think the only downside is that the smell is very strong. That Noxzema smell is kind of a mix of eucalyptus and menthol. So if you don't like that type of a scent, then you are definitely not going to like this. But I found that I could smell it at first, especially when I put it on around my nose. But within like 5 or 10 minutes, I didn't smell it anymore. So I feel like once it dries down, the scent does go away. But yeah, if you're looking for a foundation that looks incredibly natural on your skin, I highly recommend giving this one a try. Even if you haven't used it since the 80s, pick it up again and see what you think. I would love to hear your thoughts down below. Also in the complexion category, I got a big box from Catrice with their new True Skin High Cover Concealer. This is waterproof. It has hyaluronic acid. It's supposed to give you high coverage with moisturizing Hydro Boost Complex. It claims that it won't settle into fine lines and gives you a fresh, even, soft matte finish. So I did poll everybody on Instagram and ask whether it was more helpful to show swatches of all the colors, like when I get a big shade range like this, or if you would rather me just swatch one color and then donate the rest. And the vast majority of you guys said to just swatch one color. But I wanted to bring it up just because there's been, no matter what I do in a video, if I swatch all the shades, people tell me you should be donating that, it's a waste. And then if I don't swatch all the shades, then people are like, wait, I wanted to see the colors so that I can know like what shade I should pick. So I really wasn't sure what to do, but I decided to just go with what the majority wanted and find the shade that I felt like would work best for me and swatch that one. So the color that I chose to swatch was Cool Cashmere, and I feel like it is a really good color option for me. It's a little bit on the lighter side, but I typically go down a shade to put concealer at least under my eyes because I like that little bit of a brightening effect. And I will probably choose one more color, maybe the shade up from this, to use around my face if I need to, and then that'll be that. I'll donate the rest of them. But oh my gosh, again, was was super impressed with this concealer. I wasn't actually expecting to like it because I don't like the foundation version of this. I thought that it looked really dry on my skin and really, like, it just looked like I was wearing too much makeup. It sank into fine lines and pores. So I was not expecting to like this at all, but I feel like this performs as good or better than my high-end concealers. So first off, I really love the applicator. It's super soft. It's really comfortable to use. I feel like they did such a good job on it. It's not your typical doe foot. It's actually like a flat applicator, which I really like. And also the coverage on this is great, which again, I was kind of hesitant about a full coverage concealer because I'm not a full coverage person anymore. I find that full coverage products just look too heavy on me. But this is so lightweight, it's almost featherweight. It just disappears into your skin, kind of like the CoverGirl foundation actually, and it just becomes like one with your skin. You can't tell where your skin starts and the concealer ends. Really, it's so seamless, and because it is so thin and lightweight, it just disappears and you can't see it, yet it really adds a ton of coverage. And also, I feel like it looks very, very smooth under my eyes. So let me just show you guys what my face looks like just with the concealer on and nothing else. And I just put it under one eye so you can see the difference as far as the coverage that it gives. And also, like, you don't see it settling into the fine lines underneath my eyes. It looks really, really smooth, or at least just as smooth as the other side with no makeup. And I feel like it's super long lasting as well. I was just really impressed with it. So thumbs up for that as well. Next up, I also got a box from BK Beauty and they sent me their brand new lipstick and lip liner collection. I'm so excited for these. I watched Lisa J Makeup's video on these and they look beautiful. It's like the perfect collection of nude lipsticks, like nude and pink, which is definitely what I go for. And the lip liners look incredible as well. I think they just did a phenomenal job on the packaging. It looks so gorgeous and the packaging feels so heavy in your hand. They really do feel like a super high-end luxury lipstick. I also love the shape of the bullet. I like how it's a little bit more flat, so it's just really easy to use and just glides on so easily. And the formula is so comfortable to wear as well. I'm actually wearing the shade Inner Beauty today and I love this color so much, but I did want to show you guys swatches of all the shades so you can see exactly what they look like on. So first up we have Acceptance, and this one is a really gorgeous cool tone pink. I was almost going to wear this one in the video today and I changed my mind at the last minute, but I absolutely love this color as well. Next we have Kindness, and this one is a really pretty peachy pink, so I can definitely see wearing this color when I'm wearing more warm tone looks. Next is Self Love. This one is a brighter pink and such a fun and happy color. I really like this one as well. And then we have Passion. This one is the deepest color of the bunch and it's a little bit more of a berry pink and super pretty as well. I feel like they just chose such flattering colors. And then of course we have Inner Beauty, which is the one that I am wearing throughout the video today. So I just think these are so beautiful. Let me just show you guys swatches on my arm of all the colors and you can see them up close that way. And like I said, I just really love the formula of these. They just feel so nourishing, so comfortable. They have, I would say, like a semi-matte finish. They're not completely flat, but they're not glossy either. I feel like they're a really nice kind of satiny type of a finish and really, really pretty. And then we also have the Everlast lip liners as well. And these, I really love the shape of them. I think they're so cute. They're kind of like, they look like a little mini lipstick bullet. They're not your typical pointy lip liner. And I find these to be so easy to work with. They do have the point if you want to kind of turn them around and use the sharp edge, or you can use the flat edge just to fill in your lips and it makes it so much easier. And these are so creamy. They feel so good on your lips. You could actually wear these alone as a lipstick if you wanted to, or you could put them under the lipsticks as well for a little bit of extra longevity. So overall, very impressed with the lipsticks from BK Beauty as well. And then the last product I have is from Doll 10. They sent me their Refocus Glow palette, and this palette is a face palette. So you have a glow powder, a blush, a bronzer, and then a highlight. And what I love about this palette is just the powders themselves, how finely milled they are. They never look dusty or powdery on your skin. Again, they just kind of melt in and become one with your skin and look so natural, which I really love. I'm actually wearing the bronzer and the blush from this palette today, and also the Refocus powder, which to me is a good dupe for the Hourglass ambient powders. It is so similar. It has that same kind of really soft feel with just that tiny hint of a glow. So it's not a highlighter. You could use it all over your face, but it's kind of like a filter in a compact. It is just gorgeous. So let me show you guys swatches of the palette and you can see what everything looks like. So you can see first that Refocus powder, how it has just the tiniest little hint of a glow. It's not going to be sparkly or shimmery on your face at all. Next up, we have the blush, then we have the bronzer, and then last but not least is the highlight. So overall, I just think this is such a pretty palette. If you're interested in checking this out, I do have a coupon code with Doll10. It's JenDoll15 and it'll save you 15% off. So again, another winner from Doll10. I absolutely love this. Oh, and I actually do have one more product to show you. This is also from Doll10. I forgot they sent this over. This is their Smooth Assist Overnight Facial Micellar Retexturizing Pads. So these came in earlier in the week. I've been using them every single day. These have a blend of different acids. They have glycolic, salicylic, malic, lactic acid. They also have niacinamide and willow bark. So they're kind of like a milder version of their overnight facial serum. And like I said, I've been using these all week. And what I love about these is they have like a sort of texture to the pad. So after I cleanse and I take off all my makeup, I go over my whole face with one of these pads. And even though it has all the acids in it, somehow it does not sting or tingle or burn. My skin feels so good and refreshed. And on top of that, not only does it take away the flakes and the dead skin cells, but also it gets all the deep down makeup that my cleanser doesn't get. I can just go over my skin with it really quick and I see so much makeup left on the pad when I'm done. So they're just a really great way to not only tone and exfoliate, but also just get rid of the extra makeup that your cleanser might have missed. The only thing I'll say though is just don't put them on your eyes because they do have the acids in it. So I would avoid the eye area, but everywhere else, even down my neck, I use them and they're wonderful. So anyway, guys, that's everything that I have for this week. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. I would love to hear from you down in the comments below. If you've tried any of these products before, I know some of them are brand new, so you probably haven't, but if you haven't tried them, what are your thoughts? Are you planning on checking them out? I'd love to hear from you. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me as always on your Sunday. I appreciate it so much. And also, again, if you're new to my channel, if you enjoyed this video, I hope you'll consider hitting that subscribe button before you go. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you all in my next video. Take care, guys. Bye.